All right, we're here in Columbia, Maryland with, you prefer Ty or Tyler?
It doesn't matter, just say Ty. It's
Ty?
easy. Yeah, as everybody knows, man.
Ty from Hysteria.
Yeah.
We're gonna have taco talk on this? The taco
You
Ty?
son of a dick. That was one night, and it wasn't even my fault. I got drunk. It's a long story.
All right, Beercentrics is in Columbia, Maryland today with Ty from Hysteria. Good to see you, Ty.
You too, buddy.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Yeah. Where's your beer?
What's happening? My beer's right here.
On my far left is the beer guy. You know
What's
him.
happening? You love him. The internet won't be the same without him.
It is true. It is. It's true. It's a better place without you.
Columbia was part of the deal. When you found out you were going to be opening in Columbia, what were your thoughts about the neighborhood?
There's a lot of people out here that like craft beer, and I think Frisco's testament to that, which is where I came from. Well, I was at Duke Law and then there. There was really only a few spots you could go to. And then when Black Flag opened, now you have some really good beer bars and a brewery. But when you have another brewery open up an eighth of a mile away from Black Flag, now it's only helping both of us out, and it's helped out Black Flag because there's another reason to come to here.
Right.
Because now you can walk from our
Like if
places.
you're coming from out of town.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, if you're here visiting, there's Sapwood now. Black Flag. There's always been Victoria's.
Yeah,
which
there's
is
always
a
been
great beer
Jailbreak,
place.
which is pretty close.
Right.
Always been Manor Hill, which is pretty close. Now you have Reckless, which is at
At
Frisco.
Frisco.
If they're going to be opening up a tap room at some point, I hope, because their beer is fantastic too. But now there's like a Columbia tour you can get on, like with like the Maryland tours. It's starting to turn into
A destination.
Frederick. You know, I mean,
There's a critical mass.
Yeah. Look at Frederick.
Frederick is like Asheville.
Exactly. And this, I think this is almost like Frederick 2.0 now.
And let's not forget, Maryland's original homebrew store. So, you know, there was always that sort of founding piece that I think a lot of people give credit to why Columbia was always such a great beer town before there was any breweries, was people had to come here to buy their brew supplies, and then where were they going to go? They weren't just going to go home, they were going to go somewhere and get a beer.
Now they can go there, and then they can hit up 4 or 5 different breweries all within a 10-minute drive from here. So this is a really cool area.
So you're flying into Maryland, you go into Columbia, you come into the breweries, you've heard it's a great beer town, you're hitting a couple spots. What else are you doing for fun?
You're gonna go to Meriwether and see a show. I've seen some of my favorite bands there. I mean, they're gonna be so many judgy people, but like I love 30 Seconds to Mars. I think they're a great band. Linkin Park, Rip Chester, but like I've seen these guys there, and it's right up the street. You got Sandry, that I've heard good things about. I haven't been there yet, but we got to get out there. You can pre-game, go to a show, and then
Post-game
it, and eat good food and drink
to breweries
a beer
all day.
Yeah, I mean it's such a cool area because it's not that far away from the airport. It's a 20-minute drive up 95, and then you can walk between a lot of places if you wanted to.
Now, one thing I think that's immediately noticeable about Hysteria when you walk in the door, which is different from other craft breweries, is a lot of breweries have kind of similar design elements. They've got beer hall tables, they've got, you know, the little area for kids to hang out, but you guys have some really unique, cool pieces. Can you tell us about them?
Sure. We wanted it to be totally different, which is why it's completely open, and the brewery is open, there's no wall. We want you to come in here and feel like you're actually sitting in a brewery and not just tap room, even though it's a tap room. But it's one of those things that it's like a steampunk basement kind of feel to it. But that was the whole point of this, was to be like that.
I like how it's steampunk, but it's not like super intentionally steampunk.
Right.
You know, you get the feel of a lot of pipes and that industrial look, but it's a little bit more polished. So a lot of this stuff looks like it came from the same maker. And who'd you guys use for that?
There's these guys that are called a 4308 Design. They're doing a lot of stuff for like local breweries and distilleries, just because their stuff is legit.
Cool.
Like it's awesome. But these guys built all the tables. They built like all the shelves in here. They built like our circle seat. They built that thing. They actually surprised us with that. They're fantastic. Like the TV was just hanging by a couple chains.
Right.
And it was just hanging there. And then they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna change that for you." And we're like, "What do you mean?" And then like a few weeks later, we showed up and they had it. Yeah, it was with the TV inside of it and everything. So But they,
Whose idea was the Hugh Hefner Lounge down there with the barrels are and the,
that was
the beer pong and all that. That's a really cool space.
We can fit 125 people, but there's not 125 seats. So we're like, how do we make it more entertaining for people and still let everybody, enjoy a beer and have things to do? And we had the giant Jenga out here, but anytime it fell, I've watched people spill their beer.
Yeah,
they're like, God.
Everyone in the room jumps.
Yeah, so we were like, how do we make this, still have it? And we're like, we have so much space back there. It's just so much room for activities, To quote one of my favorite lines. We literally just hung up 2 TVs back there. So we have N64, we have Wii back there, we have giant Jenga, we have giant beer pong, we have all kinds of...
Anybody been popped in the face with the beer pong ball, though? Like, I could see somebody sitting in the Hugh Hefner chairs and, like, pa! Right?
I can
Right
see my son picking up that ball and just pegging a random person.
Thinking it's like dodgeball.
Not yet. We just wanted to do something we can just have more people come in and have more of like an interaction to do. Like there's encyclopedias.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read every single one. It's cool, but
Really?
Yeah.
You're not that smart.
No, dude, I am now. After reading all that, trust me, I have so many words to use. I'm trying to figure out how to
I
use
warmed
them.
up for this interview by reading the entire Sahara Desert entry.
I just read I read 1967 Book of the Year.
Oh, there you go.
Just to
There you
say.
go. But the Hugh Hefner chairs were 100% honest. We found them on Craigslist and they were free, so we picked them up.
Those are really cool.
Yeah,
I
they're
could
awesome
totally
too.
see somebody sitting there with a pipe and like
I do it naked too.
stogie. Oh.
Yeah, well, I just have the robot.
Thanks for that visual.
That's the
Okay.
whole point, yeah. Yeah. But you know
A
what?
stogie and like a barrel-aged
Something.
25th hour or whatever, and just sitting there with the Sherlock Holmes pipe with that hat on.
Yeah, that's exactly
Thank
what we
you
do.
for joining us on Master Beers Theater.
This is a brewery, so obviously we want to talk about the beers. Tell us about the main beers. We know Trash Panda, we know Yellow Submarine, and a couple other ones. And now I understand there's a canning line coming. So give us a run through of what people are going to be able to see on the shelf in their local store coming soon.
Yeah.
And give us some to taste. 'cause
Oh,
we
sure,
wanna drink
sure,
it.
of course. Before we do anything, we need a beer clean glass. My God, that's a pro pour.
All right, so you guys got the canning line going in, and there's going to be 4 year-round package beers or some variation of 4 core beers available at all times. We've got the morning after here. Tell us about that one.
So a morning after is our coffee milk stout, 7%. And we wanted to be a little bit different than most coffee stouts that are really dry. So we wanted to do a milk stock version of it because it's a sweet stout. It's got lactose
More
in it.
suitable to year-round, you think?
Yeah, it's more suitable year-round, but it's also one of those beers that you can drink a lot of because it's not like overly roasty. And like this one being 7% is still pretty sessionable, and it's coffee and cream because it's lactose in it. It's one of the most popular beers we make, so why not have it on the market?
What about this guy?
This one is called What You Want, and it is what I want because that's why there's half of that beer. And it's
Cheers to that.
Yeah, you know what? That's it. I'm gonna drink it anyway. So hey, there you go. That's the little brother to Trash Panda. Trash Panda is our most popular beer we make, but the problem is that it uses Citra, and Citra sometimes is hard to get. So we wanted to make something that didn't have Citra in it, but was still a juicy, standard American IPA that we could put a little haze to it. When Trash Panda's not available, this beer's available. When this beer's not available, Trash Panda's available. So it's going to be like an in and out thing. The joke is you walk in and say, I don't know what I want. Oh, well, I guess I do now. Because there's a beer that says
Inspired
it.
by the seminal Beastie Boys hit,
Yeah.
What you want.
It's exactly.
What you want.
Exactly.
All right, what's next for the core lineup?
Next one, this beer is the one that is replacing Yellow Submarine. This is called Tipping Point. This one is an American Pale Wheat. It's sub 6%. It's more of an aggressive dry hopping than Yellow Submarine ever had. Since Yellow Submarine was the very first beer we ever brewed on our 20-barrel system, a year into brewing on it, we've realized how to brew really well in that system. So why not do a core beer that was a better version of Yellow Sud, but we didn't want to name it Yellow Sud because it's not the same thing. It's got better mouthfeel, it's better aroma, better dry hopping to it. So that one's going to be our mainstay.
What's the
core.
dry hop on it?
It's going to be a Zaka and a Falconer's Flight that's in it. I'm pretty sure we use the Zaka for the via dry hopping, but those 2 hops are absolutely in it.
And this is the Big Daddy.
That's the one everybody, that's what everybody knows
wants.
this for.
This is Trash Panda.
Yeah, and like Trash Panda, just it's a funny beer because of the name and where it came from. At a previous employer, we weren't allowed to use the name Trash Panda. I've been brewing Trash Panda home for a while, and then I brought it into Jordan, and then Jordan's like, I like it. So it's been tweaked because when it was first originally brewed for a couple of years, it was a 5-gallon batch. Obviously, 5 gallons and 20 barrels, you got to change up a little bit. So Jordan did an amazing job of trying to keep what that beer was, but then make it to what it is. But,
So what's the hop bill on this, on Trash Panda?
Citrus Simcoe Mosaic.
Okay.
The golden hop tree everybody likes.
Right. So I've been drinking the fruited sour all day. Would that come in as a special release beer every once in a while?
Yeah, like that would be
Brewery only and then some distro, or?
both.
Okay.
It would be both. Yeah. The Happy Little Accident series is just, people want fruited sours, and we like sours. And Jordan is, I mean, he does an awesome job at making sours.
Kick-ass.
Yeah, and like
For
that
sure.
beer is great. The next one we're gonna do is gonna be the same beer, only with like all blueberries instead, or the
Ooh,
same beer with
nice.
like all peach. We would always have a different variant of it.
Right, but would that be available in
Yeah,
in
it's like
stores?
It's certain accounts would get it. So I mean, Whitey's, shout out Whitey's. We don't do a lot of cans. We do some can drops here, but that's all done by a hand. It takes us a long time to do, 10 cases. We're really lucky. We did like 20 cases of Trash Panda, and it sold out in a weekend. That's awesome. It's cool. But you can't sustain that out in the market when your distributor comes and they want 100 cases of something. You just can't do it. So that's why the canning lines can be so huge for us, because there's 1,000 accounts that we could sell beer to that we just physically can't right now. But that's, that's growing pains. We're only a year old. That's why the first beer going in there is called Tipping Point, because we knew that the canning line was the tipping point for us to actually get more accounts and then to grow the brand even more. So that's why it's named that.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Excellent.
Well, great beers, man. Thanks so
Buddy.
much for having us.
Yeah.
If you're looking for beer in Maryland, come looking in Columbia. There's lots of breweries, lots of bars, lots of other fun things to check out. If you're going to check out Hysteria, hashtag us on Instagram, hashtag beer from here, and Beercentrics. We'll see you next time.